All right, everyone. Welcome to the first Voltage workshop webinar. My name is Nate. I head support and education at Voltage, and I'm super excited to talk about just what we do and how we do it and what we can offer, not just people that are involved in Bitcoin, but people around the world who are interested in a better way to do commerce globally and interact with each other in a way that is new and, in my opinion, better. So I see that the chat is working. Hello, everybody. Thank you for making sure everything looks good. Cool. So I'm going to just kind of jump right in. I do have some slides. We're going to just do a few of those, and then we're going to jump into a demo, and everyone can sort of follow along if they'd like to. So I'm going to just jump into the slides now. Hopefully this works. We are going to do, let's see here. Yeah, we'll just share the whole window, I guess. All right, so this is the Voltage first workshop. We're gonna do a platform overview, real high level. Hopefully every so often, hopefully not too often, we'll do another one of these to dive into larger detail about certain features that we have involving the Lightning Network, Btc Pay Server, commerce, that sort of thing. But without further ado, let's hop into it. So today we're going to talk about what is Voltage. You might have heard of us, not sure exactly what we do. We're going to talk about the platform itself, how to create an account, our Voltage dashboard, including how billing works, what services we offer. We're going to do a nice little walkthrough of our node dashboard and configuration settings. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end. We're planning on doing this for about 60 minutes. So I will try to get through as much of it as I can for the Q&A. And we do have a purpose, mission, and vision, as most of you are familiar with. So we're going to get everybody the most out of their money. We're going to help alleviate problems with the current way that commerce is done. Credit card fees, transaction fees, that sort of thing is all going to go away, chargebacks, etc. So we're here to help businesses and others as well. We're going to do this through to advance sound money through ease of use infrastructure, tools, and solutions, which we'll go over today. And we're going to enable the world to transact seamlessly and autonomously. So Voltage focuses on building non-custodial enterprise-grade infrastructure for individuals and businesses. The Lightning Network is a layer 2 technology built on top of Bitcoin that enables instant global borderless payments with no chargeback and at any amount, from the very, very microscopic to even larger. Right now, we're a team of 16, and we're all fully remote in the US. Voltage was founded in 2020. Our CEO, Graham, worked on Voltage by himself for 6 months before deciding to make it a full business. And we're going to provide reliable and affordable Lightning Network infrastructure while maintaining non-custodianship of your funds. That's a core tenet of Voltage. We do not want to have any responsibility for the funds of our clients, nor do we want to see what they're doing with their funds. Voltage aims to provide reliable and affordable Lightning Network infrastructure while maintaining non-custodianship, like I said. Okay, so what do we offer? We offer personalized Lightning Network nodes. The Lightning Network is powered by nodes that interconnect through payment channels, and these payment channels relay payments and propagate them throughout the network in order to settle transactions. We are very, very motivated to have easy to understand remote access functionality. Thunderhub, Zeus, Balance of Satoshi, etc. We'll go over that. We have developer tools and APIs. Developers love using Voltage for their backend app infrastructure. We'll talk about that. Professional enterprise management. Those out there that want to run really high capital intensive Lightning nodes, we provide management options for them. And we have integrated Btc Pay Server for merchants, businesses, crowd funds, and more. This is a really great tool, and it's all built into the Voltage dashboard and backend, so you can connect your Lightning node to in order to receive payments, point of sale, whether it's brick and mortar, web stores, Shopify, WooCommerce, all that sort of stuff. We do provide Lightning Network liquidity. And soon we're going to be launching enterprise-grade Lightning analytics tools. All right, so that's that. We're going to get our hands dirty here with a little demo. So we're going to go to voltage.cloud. And what we're going to do here is click Get Started. And for anyone who hasn't made a Voltage account quite yet, it only takes about a minute. You just need to do a email password, and then we'll send you a 6-digit code to your email, and that will allow you to confirm your registration, and you'll get an account. One of the cool things that we offer currently, and we'll talk about billing here in a second, but currently we offer $10 of credit to get you started. So as soon as you make an account, you're ready. You can jump right in and follow along with what we're doing here today. All right. So I already made an account, a brand new account earlier. So I'm going to log into that. All right, and just real quick, I'm just going to make sure in the chat, everyone so far is doing good. Yeah, Valentino, this will be recorded. We will be posting it on YouTube. Forgot to mention that. All right, seems like everyone is good. All right, cool. So after you make an account, you'll be greeted with this nice dashboard here. We do have dark mode and day mode, I guess you can call it, or light mode. I'm going to keep it on light mode. Actually, you know what? Let's do dark mode. I think people like dark mode more. All right, so the first things you're going to see here at the top is, what would you like to do, nodes or flow? We're going to talk about this in a second, but the first thing I want to talk about is our sort of account details area here. Settings, we'll go through that. This is just if you want to change your email or add multi-factor authentication, that sort of thing. You can contact support through here. Billing. So the way that Voltage does billing is that every service has a per hour cost, and you will have to add credit to your account, and it will slowly tick away that credit depending on what services you're running. For example, Btc Pay Server is a little under 2 cents per hour. A full standard Lightning node is a little over 4 cents per hour. We'll talk about that here in a second. So we accept credit cards, and we also, of course, accept Bitcoin if you'd like to top up your credit with Bitcoin. If your credit does run out and go into the zero, it will start going into the negative. We're not going to shut down your node right away. We will, however, be emailing you fairly frequently for you to top up your account. And we, since we do not hold your funds or have custody in any way, it's your responsibility to keep your funds secure and your credit topped up. If you wish to delete your nodes or cancel your services, that's perfectly okay. Just make sure you take your funds out before doing that. So that's how the billing structure works. API keys, this is for devs. So you can, instead of using the menus here, you can use API calls to do that. And then we have documentation, API docs. Documentation, we have a quick start guide and a few other guides that help walk through some of our features that we'll go through. We'll talk about flow in a second. Right now, we're going to just go into nodes. And again, what we're doing is we're creating a Lightning node. All of our Lightning nodes sit on top of a Bitcoin Core node. You are not running a Bitcoin Core node through Voltage. You are just running the Lightning node. So we do have the option if you do want to run a Bitcoin Core node. However, Bitcoin Core nodes take up a lot of space, half a terabyte. It is pretty expensive and it's unnecessary for many users. Btc Pay Server we'll talk in a second, but right now let's just get our first Lightning node started. All right, so we have 3 options. Our light node is backed by Neutrino. It gets its Bitcoin data from the block headers, so it's a little bit less intensive resource-wise, and that's a little under 2 cents per hour. That's recommended if you are just sort of making payments or just experimenting and learning. Standard node is backed by the entire Bitcoin database. So it's much more reliable. It's less likely to get out of sync than the light node. And that's going to be more important. And 90% of people are going to want to do the standard node, especially merchants and businesses and small businesses. That's about 4 cents per hour. And then we have the pro node. With the light and standard, those go through the Tor network. The Tor network is much more easy to use, so that's why we use Tor by default. However, if you are looking for a ClearNet IP option, we do have pro nodes available by custom, so you'll have to contact us and we'll have to work out a quote for you. But some businesses do like to have ClearNet and a dedicated Bitcoin full node. In this demo, I'm just going to make a standard node and we're going to hit create. All right, so now we get to name our node. This is the node that everyone on the network is going to see. And you can always change it later. However, the history of it will always be public. So think about what you want to call it before you name it. I'm just going to call it Nate Workshop. And the password is, this password is different from the password that you use with your main Voltage account. This is the password to unlock access to your Lightning node and all of your funds. This is a password that at Voltage we do not save on our end in a decrypted way. So essentially, don't lose this password. We cannot change it for you, as we say in this alert here. This is what makes Voltage non-custodial. So your node seeds and macaroons are encrypted with this password. Losing it means losing access to backups, and Voltage cannot reset it. Be very, very careful. All right, so create a password. All right, this checkbox, it says restore existing node from seed and static channel backup. This is if you have already had a node in the past and you want to try to reclaim it in some way, whether it be a node running at home or not. It's actually a good time to maybe bring that up. So a lot of folks, it's a good idea for a lot of folks to run the node software on their own physical machines. That way there you're not trusting any database or third party with the hosting of your machines. However, the trade-off is you are susceptible to power outages. You have to do all the updates and maintenance yourself. You don't really get any real support with that usually. And internet may go out, etc. For a merchant or a business that's using Lightning as part of their point of sale, having a node go out because their power went out at home is not a good thing. So that's one of the reasons Voltage is very, very useful for those looking to use Lightning at their business in a sovereign way. So, all right, so we're going to hit create. This password is just double checking. Yeah, so it tells you, again, don't lose your password. Either memorize it really, really well, or we recommend writing it down. All right, so at this point, our node is being created, and this process could take a few minutes. So while that is going on, I will see how everyone is doing. Looks like we don't really have any questions yet, so we're this is pretty quick here, and boom, we have our Lightning node. It was that fast. So after you create your node, you're going to be greeted with this menu. First thing you want to do is go down here to seed. Well, actually, you're going to want to unlock. So you're going to have to enter the password that you just used to create your node, and that will unlock it for you to access. First thing you're going to see is, do you need a channel? We can give you some inbound liquidity. So this is really useful. Inbound liquidity is required if you are trying to receive funds on your Lightning node, and this will get you 500,000 Satoshis or 0.005 Bitcoin worth of inbound liquidity, which is about $120-ish at the point of this recording on August 15, 2022. That helps to get you started. And so definitely click that button. Doesn't cost anything. It is a channel from the Voltage master node, which is really, really well connected. Next thing you're going to want to do is go down to seed and click that, and it'll show you seed words. Much like regular on-chain Bitcoin, you will want to write these seed words down and store them securely. If for any reason our database, something happens, I don't really foresee that happening, but you can always have your seed available if you need it to restore some at some point. So write that down. Only takes a couple minutes. Macaroons and TLS certificates are for remote access to your node, and you might need that at some point to use third-party programs or services to connect to your node. So that is the dashboard here in a nutshell. Also here, you can delete your node. If you delete your node, we will obviously stop charging you for it. So if you don't need your node anymore, you can go ahead and delete that. And cool. Wow, we in just 15 minutes, we've already got a node, we've already made an account, and we're basically good to go on our dashboard here. So this is our home screen. Next thing we'll just go down this list here. I'll make this a little bigger for everybody. We're going to go down this list on the side. So you do have access to the logs. If for any reason your node is acting funny and you contact support, we might ask you to show us your logs so we can sort of troubleshoot. It doesn't happen too often, but sometimes we do need to see this to help out. Next, we have settings. Settings for your node in general. We'll just go through a few of them. Some of them are advanced, and most of them you'll probably never need to change. So yeah, so you have your node alias. You can change that at any time. Color, this is what folks that are looking at Lightning Network Explorers are going to see. We default that to voltage orange. However, you can change that to whatever you'd like. Key send, this is a really cool option that allows people to send your node money without you having to generate an invoice for them. AMP stands for Atomic Multipath. This allows you to receive payments that are coming in, or one payment that come in from multiple channels. We keep these default on because there's no real reason to turn them off. They're just quality of life features. Connection settings, and this is for the devs out there. You can have remote IP whitelists for security purposes, all these gRPC and REST features, webhooks, etc. Channel settings. So for a Lightning channel, you can determine how your node works. As far as maybe you don't want people to open channels with your nodes that are smaller than a certain size, and you can define that here. And you can define a few other variables here that we can also define in ThunderHub, which we'll go over here in a minute. Wumbo, this just means that you are able to create channels greater than 16 million Satoshis. When the Lightning Network first came out, there was a hard cap on the size of channels. However, as the network grew and everyone realized that it was actually working, that limit was removed. However, you can toggle it back on if you'd like. Circular routes, this will allow you to forward and send sats on the same channel. It's off by default. It's really not too useful, but the option is there. All right. Operational settings, you'll probably never need to use. However, we do offer a few options, such as Watchtower, which we can talk about if anyone has any questions later. And that's about it. If you make any changes, you can hit save changes and your node will restart and all the changes will then apply. Network, you get your public key. Every Lightning node has a public key. A public key will always be that public key. It can never ever change. A URI is a public key that also has a IP or a location endpoint and a port. So you can see it has our pub key, and then it kind of goes into this @ symbol. And then it has the blah, 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 .onion, and then the port. So if you have a friend or you want to advertise your node for hopefully someone to open up a channel with your node, you can give them this whole string here all the way up to the 9735, and that will allow them to open a channel. And likewise, they would have to give that to you for you to open up a channel with them. And then it'll kind of show you some details here at a glance and about your node. All right, next up, connect. We do have your macaroon files. Again, this is what allows you to connect to your node from remote applications. And here's a list of our supported remote applications currently. However, there are likely more out there that you can connect to. A few of these that are really useful are, I guess, Balance of Satoshis is really useful. If you are command line inclined, you can install that on a local machine, connect to your voltage node, and do really neat things like probe payments and run a Telegram bot to get updates on your phone, things like that. We also have Zeus, which is a really cool way to connect to your node also on mobile, and a bunch of other options that you can look into. All right. Next up, we got dashboards. Actually, I'm going to skip this real quick and go back to export here. This will basically give you all the files from your node if you need them. So there's usually no reason to do this, but if you'd like to do it, you can do it. You can export your log, your channel backup, or everything. All right, dashboards. So ThunderHub is likely where you'll spend the most time. ThunderHub is a really, really powerful interface. I'm just going to show you just sort of the front page and show you where you can get more information. But when you click launch, it's going to take a second to build. And then after it's done, we'll look at it real quick. It shouldn't take longer than a minute. Yep. So I'm looking at questions real quick. Dakota, if we have a light node, can we upgrade to standard? Yes, you can. No problem. Can I increase the font size? Yeah, hopefully it's a little bit better. Sorry about that if it's not. Is it safe to say the seed words work in conjunction with an encrypted backup of all the Lightning channel data so that we can restore the state of the Lightning node fully? Yeah, so in conjunction, the seed words and the channel backup file. So if something happens and you have your seed words and a new channel, your channel backup file is essentially taking all of the force close transactions from your channels and saving them. Commit transactions, all the newest ones. And it's a good rule of thumb to maybe update or download your channel backup file maybe once a week. And then if you ever need to recover, you can use your seed words, and that'll get you access to the on-chain wallet part of your node. And then if you use the channel backup file, that will broadcast all the commit transactions for your channels so you can get your money back. So in conjunction, that works. If you have your seed words, but you don't have your channel backup file, then you have to rely on your counterparties to close the channels. So that could take time if you don't have communication with them. Is there a way to back up the channels automatically? There is. And actually on Voltage, we do back up all the channel backup files for everybody in an encrypted way. However, you should still do it yourself. But if you ever need it, you can contact us and we can give it to you. A way you can do it yourself is Balance of Satoshis has a Telegram bot. And every time a channel opens or closes in your Telegram app, it'll download a new copy of your channel backup, which is pretty handy. Cool. All right. So this is ThunderHub. Just at a face here, you have your on-chain component where you can send and receive. So if you want to just do on-chain stuff, that is symbolized by the anchor. And then you have the Lightning side. So a workflow to get started would be you go to receive on your Bitcoin and then create address. And then you send on-chain Bitcoin to this address. After that gets confirmed, that balance will show up in pending. I'm sorry, it'll show up in available. After it shows up in available, we can then go to open, and then we can allocate those funds that are in the on-chain wallet to a channel that we can define. That URI that we were talking about earlier, this is where you would paste it in and say how many sats and whatnot to open a channel. If anyone wants to learn more about how to do that, I highly recommend going to our docs page. I'll actually go there real quick. And then we have, it's docs.voltage.cloud. And I have this series of ThunderHub guides. So we have starting ThunderHub, opening a channel, which is what I just alluded to a second ago. Basics of channel management, that sort of thing. Once you get the hang of it, though, it's really not too bad. And we're always available for support and stuff. So give it a shot. Let's see, we got a question here. Do you have any instructions or videos on how to recover a node using the seed words and channel backups? I do not. However, I do have a blog on that. It's on our blog site. It's called Recovery and Planning. Should be here. Here it is, Recovery Options and Planning. So find this and it'll help you out. All right, so we'll get back to it here. So that's ThunderHub. And so I've gone over pretty much all of the sort of user interface of Voltage for the nodes component. Before we get into Q&A, I do want to just kind of quick demo a Btc Pay Server, because I think a lot of folks will think it's really cool, and show you how fast that is to set up too. Actually, now that I'm just reminded here, so Flow is a liquidity product that you can use to buy channels. This is useful when you're a merchant and you want to receive funds. We do have a Flow documentation on our docs website as well. In future workshops and webinars, we'll be going into more detail on this, but we do have this option available if you want to play with it. As always, if you have any questions, just contact us on our Discord or email support. Awesome. So we got that. We're going to go back to our nodes page now. And you'll notice that we have a list of our nodes here. You can make more than one if you'd like to. You can make as many as you'd like for as long as you'd like. You can make one for an hour. You can make one, however long you like. Some developers like to run multiple nodes, shut down multiple nodes, and we like to give them that convenience. That's not going to be useful for most people, but we do have that option. So we're going to go ahead and make a Btc Pay Server, which is about $0.01 an hour. I'll go ahead and create that real quick. We're just going to name our store. The public isn't going to see the name of our store. This is just for our personal organization. And then you'll see we have a box here, connect to voltage node. If we didn't already have a Lightning node running, that would be turned off. It would look like this. But because we have our Lightning node already running, voltage picks that up, and we can connect it to our Btc Pay Server automatically. Now, if you're making a Btc Pay Server first and then a node second, you can still connect them up. It's just you have to copy paste a string over to your Btc Pay Server. Anyway, let's go ahead and build this out now. And it's going to give us a little bit of information here. It's going to give us our URL that we can access our Btc Pay Server. So we'll go ahead and make a new tab with that. And so there it is. And then we will go to our username is going to be our email. So we'll put that in. And then our default password is going to be another password. This will be our third password so far. So we have one for our voltage account. We have one for our Lightning node. And now we have one for our Btc Pay Server. So copy that. It's hidden. We can change it once we get into Btc Pay Server. So we can sign in. And here is our Btc Pay Server backend. I want to do a workshop where I go really into depth into Btc Pay soon. But for this demo, we're just going to connect our voltage node and just make a quick little I don't know, app, I guess. So as you can see here, our Lightning node is already connected. That's what the green light here is for. If we want to connect an on-chain as well to have an option, you can use a hardware wallet. Just export a public key from any hardware wallet or any wallet that lets you have access to a public key, and you can paste it in there and have an on-chain option that goes directly to your custody. So we don't hold any of your funds. I know I feel like I have to keep saying that because it's incredible that we can send value this way. It's just it just blows my mind every time I talk about it. Anyway, cool. Yeah. So let's go ahead and hit new app. If we're connecting this to a Shopify or to a WooCommerce, we don't need to make an app. This app thing is really just for Btc Pay specific. If we were connecting it to a Shopify, we'd go into settings and make an API key and do stuff like that, which we'll go over another time. But in this, we're just going to do we could do a point of sale or a crowdfund. For this, I'm just going to do a point of sale. We're just going to call it every new app that you make that's point of sale, it's going to do this T-shop thing where it sort of gives you like a demo basically, and you can just trash can them if you want or edit them. This is sort of an idea where if you own a T-shop, you might have a tablet on your counter or something, or a coffee shop, and then folks can just kind of tap what they want and order, and it would look like this on your tablet, right? And then people can click it. That's just one way you can use it. So I can hit pay on this black tea for $1. There's our Lightning invoice for $1. Once you scan it and pay it, boom, you got it. And on your Btc Pay Server backend, it will show up now in the invoices side. And the invoices side is really cool because this is where you can export CSV files for QuickBooks, accounting, that sort of thing. And also you'll notice on your Thunder Hub at this point, the let me refresh that. Let's see. There it is. So there is Nate's story. I typoed store. There is the payment. So you can also see it in Thunder Hub as it comes in, which is really cool. Again, though, this node isn't yet equipped to receive funds because we need that inbound liquidity, which I would love to talk more about if anyone has any questions about it, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And let's see, we were on Btc Pay Server. So there's the T-Shop demo. And this page, you'll notice this URL is unique. This is a URL that will always bring you to your front end for whatever it is that you're making, whether it be a crowdfund, point of sale, etc. So definitely save that, and you can access it, give it out, that sort of thing. Also, if you like, if you own your own domain and you can do a redirect, like you can have like pay.yourwebsite.com and have that redirect to this URL, and it'll take folks directly to whatever it is you want to show them. So that is the T-Shop concept. We can change this to add, so you can add to cart. So now, you know, I can have this one, and this one. You can buy like multiple at once, which is really, really cool. You can also do keypad only if you want. So if you just want to have a thing on your phone, and you could just be like, it's $12. If anyone wants to tip you a little bit, they can hit a button, and then you can also get paid that way. So there's lots of cool little use cases like that, all built into Voltage, all really, really easy. And unlike Clover and Toast and Square and all these terminals, we do not charge per transaction. So feel free to use it for any amount you like. We don't charge per transaction or volume. It's just a flat cost. Also, good to know, you could create multiple stores at no extra cost and multiple apps at no extra cost. It's all one flat cost. So that is what we're doing there. Cool. So that is about it for the quick overview of a lot of the cool things that we offer right now at Voltage. Let's get back into our little slideshow, and we'll finish it out and do some Q&A. All right, so YouTube channel, awesome content. We do a Twitter Spaces usually on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Central PM. We've had folks like Jeff Booth and Justifer from Amboss, Samson Mao, and a bunch of others. This is just a little snippet that I took. So check out our Twitter Spaces, or check out our YouTube channel where we also post educational stuff. Also, like I mentioned, blog.voltage.cloud. We have guides, we have news, we have a ton of stuff. So always just keep an eye. We don't really do it at like a breakneck pace, but we do have a good chunk of quality content every month. Technical documentation is at docs.voltage.cloud. Lots of cool little guides on here. If anyone has any questions about any of this, like I said, please contact me. Here is our contact information. We have a TikTok, we have an Instagram, we have a LinkedIn, we have a Twitter. Our marketing wizard, Bobby, handles all this stuff, which is really cool. And you'll get a kick out of a lot of stuff that he posts. And then our general contact information, voltage.cloud, voltage.cloud/Discord. Everybody is welcome to join the Discord and just generally talk about Lightning, Bitcoin, global commerce in the Lightning Network, or whatever you'd like. I also am available for one-on-one calls at calendly.com/NateVoltage. And you can also email us for general inquiries and sales at hello@voltage.cloud. Or if you're an existing customer, support@voltage.cloud. And I would love to open it up to questions. So you can just do questions in normal chat. That's fine. If anyone else has any questions. Bobby, if you're there, feel free to remind me if I forgot anything. Yeah, Valentino, that's fine. Yeah, Chris, you can turn off nodes. That is totally okay. You can go to how you stop it and start it is through this upper right corner. You just hit the square there to turn it off, and that'll pause the payments, and then play to turn it back on. Marcus asks, when should someone use corporate channel? Marcus, I would like to have a little bit more info on that. Pretty much all channels are the same. Do you mean like buy a channel from like an exchange or something? I would like to have a little bit more detail on that. What kind of backend security could people expect if the IRS comes knocking trying to get access to all the transactions? that went through our node. Given on how structured things, what things can you even see and make known? Yeah, okay. So as far as voltage goes, we do not know what the total capacity of your node is. I'm sorry, we do not know what part of the total capacity that you own is. However, we can see your node name, and we can see that that name is tied to your email. So, and then we can use that node name to then find your public key and any public channel. So you don't have to announce your channels to the world. You can do unannounced channels, and even we can't see your unannounced channels. But if your channels are announced or public, we can see those. However, we don't know what part of that channel you own compared to what your counterparty owns. We just know what the total amount is. And if and if anyone ever subpoenaed or did anything like that, they would just get an encrypted disk, because all of the actual access to the funds and stuff is encrypted with a password that only you have. Do you have any experience with the recovery window setting when restoring a node? If I set it to any value other than 0, it seems like the recovery hasn't started when I check back several days later. I actually, Eric, I am not entirely sure. There should not really be a window. If I set it to any value. That's interesting. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm not 100% on that. I'd have to research it. I'd probably go to the L&D Slack or something to ask about that for you if I was working with you. Chris asks, say I want to set up my local appliance store to use Lightning payments. Can they use my node? What is the process to do that? Yeah, so if you want to use your node that you run to help other people accept payments and stuff, obviously by default they will have well, yeah, you could go a couple different ways. Like you can have them generate invoices through a specific macaroon or through a specific store on Btc Pay Server, so you can keep the invoices segregated, and then you can pay them out later. But to give them any more access than that, they would have full access to your node. However, if you use LNbits has a feature where you can create wallets inside of your Lightning node. So that might be something that you'd want to check out. It's kind of a developer-ish thing, but there's some ways to do that. So definitely look into LNbits for that. Chris. Oh, Dakota. Okay. On your homepage here, so you already typed in your password here for the unlock at the top. Because it should just pop into that, and then you should be able to go down here and click show on the seed. Enterprise node. Okay, Marcus. Okay. So Marcus, sorry, that was probably my bad. I should have picked up on that. When should someone use a, okay, so you mean like an enterprise node then? Yeah, so if you need an IP address for specific security purposes, things like that, that's usually when you would want to do the enterprise node and have your own sort of segregated area in the voltage database. Ooh, Ken, good question. So what's the quickest way to set up your node to earn transaction fees for providing liquidity to the network? Yeah, so if you route payments for other people, for those that don't know, you can set a fee and earn a fee for doing that. If your node is well managed, well connected, you will likely be forwarding payments for other people. The quickest way really is basically just to contact me and I'll send you some guides and stuff. But generally, you just have to decide how much capital you're willing to initially allocate to channels, and then decide on your inbound liquidity strategy. There's submarine swaps, you can buy liquidity, and then you build up your node's reputation from there. A good way to get at a glance what your node's reputation is you can go to terminal.lightning.engineering and type in your node alias, whatever that is, and you'll get to see a little bit of a ranking here and stuff. Cool thing about this too is you get to see if you get like if you have many healthy channels, good routing capacity. These are the kind of things that people that are looking to open up channels want in a peer that they're opening up a channel with. So the first thing to do before you start trying to quote unquote make a profit is to just build a really, really good node. And I can help with that if you have more specific questions. Some channels are hard to rebalance. Are you making any tools to help recommend ways to rebalance a channel? Yeah, actually, that's a very good question from Sam. We are actually shoulder deep in building out this product that we announced in Bitcoin Miami this year. And we're calling it Surge, which is going to be a analytics tool for for pretty much anyone, I guess, running a Lightning node. It's not going to be voltage specific, but it will give you feedback on channels that maybe aren't performing very well, or what channels could use a new balance, things like that. Things that at the current time you kind of have to guess at. Will be providing analytical tools for a really nice graphical presentation for that. Valentino, yeah, it's a long question, but it's about flow. The answer is correct. Right. Doug, just email me. We'll work it out. Ellen Bits, yes, Ellen Bits. Da, 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 da. What are the risks of this? Routing payments for others? Any security concerns to be aware of? It's Sharon. That's basically how the Lightning Network is just designed. In order to, I'm trying to think of like why you wouldn't want to route payments, and I guess the only reason I can think of right now of why you wouldn't want to is because of you want to keep channels like balanced in a specific way. I'm not sure exactly why anyone would want to do that. One of the cool things about running a routing node is that because payments are onion based, meaning that if you route someone's payment, you don't know what the origin is and you don't know what the destination is either. You just know what the previous hop is and what the next hop is. The next hop could be the final destination, but they could also be routing it another hop and you don't know. Same goes the other direction. So as far as security concerns for specifically of routing payments, I don't think there is any right now. I could be mistaken, but in my experience, I haven't encountered anything. Sam asked about Surge. Will that cost extra? I believe we are going to have a free version and then also a premium version. We haven't figured out our pricing model on that quite yet, but we will be announcing that soon. Are you going to do a separate live storm for Flow? Both products are great and work great together. Yeah, Valentino, that's a great question. I think I really want to do one on just inbound liquidity in general, which will help cover Flow. And I think that will help a lot of folks out with really understanding inbound liquidity and sort of clearing up any conceptions that it's hard or difficult. Maybe a few years ago it was, but there's a lot of really easy tools and methods now that if you use multiple tools and methods, it's not too bad to do. And so we will definitely be doing that in the future. All right. How do I get some of those cool voltage shirts for our Kansas City Bitcoin meetup? Chris, yes. And would you be interested in sponsoring? Yeah, probably. We'll probably do that soon, Chris. Email us at hello@voltage.cloud and we will talk. Cool. I got caught up with the chat. That was a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, let's I mean, I really want to give everyone, bang for their buck here. So since people are talking about Flow, I can talk about Flow just real quick, I guess. Yeah, let's go do that. These are did I sign myself out? I guess I did. That's okay. We'll get back in here. Yeah. So, all right. So a couple years ago, oh, we got another question. Can I accept Bitcoin payments with this in-app? Does the Apple Store even accept this? Would I go via Bitcoin for this? Frequent customers for confirmation speed would be non-critical. That's a very interesting question. You can absolutely build apps that go into your voltage node. We give you full access to Btc Pay Server, RPC APIs, and LND, so you can make code and then put that into your app that says generate invoices and that sort of thing. Whether or not Apple will allow you to post that app on their store is a whole other thing. But you can absolutely use a voltage node for a backend for any app that you can possibly think of, game, that sort of thing. You get all of the developer tools for that. And we'll hopefully be doing a workshop on development focused also. That's definitely on the roadmap. Cool. Yeah. So flow is just essentially you saying that you want some inbound liquidity from an open marketplace called Pool, which is what Lightning Labs built. So you can say, I want 5 million SAT of inbound liquidity. I only want nodes that have been deemed the best to be able to open up a channel with me. And then you can set the duration in blocks. 2016 is about 2 weeks. And then the fee that you want to pay. And then make sure you do this, make sure you click, is this for a voltage node? And make sure you pick your node on this. If you don't do that, you can't redeem your ticket unless you install Pool manually. So this is a way to automatically do that. So make sure you click your node for that. You'll get a quote. It does cost a fee, which in this case is about 50,000 sats for 5 million. You can determine if that is a good deal for you or not. It's about 1%. If not, you can pull the fee down. And the only thing keeping you from matching would be if somebody on the other side is willing to accept that fee. So you could create your order at that point, and it gives you a final breakdown of everything. You just hit pay, and you can pay this way, and then it'll auto redeem. The only catch is you have to wait to get matched. Sometimes waiting can take a while. The good news is you can always cancel the order, get your fee back, and put in another order. The fee is instantly refunded into a flow credit, and then you can just reallocate that to a different order. So feel free to experiment with that if you'd like. I wouldn't use flow only for getting inbound liquidity though. You can also purchase liquidity from Amboss Magma, and you can also use Submarine Swap, which is in Thunderhub. I'll get more into this another time, but there are multiple options for getting that initial inbound liquidity on top of the free 500,000 sats that we also provide there. Yeah, so Amboss Magma and Flow/Pool are totally different things. So I recommend using both to make sure you get liquidity as quick as possible. And the main difference is Flow, you put in the order and you have to wait because it's sort of a blind auction. You don't get to choose who your peer is. But with Magma, it's kind of like shopping on Craigslist for peers. So you, as a buyer, would go on and say, oh, so-and-so will give me a 5 million channel for this price. And then you can click them and you can determine if that node is something that you would want to buy a channel from. And then you can just buy it, basically. It's pretty cool. BTC Sessions is a really, really good video on that. Trying to think what, let's see, BTC Pay. Yeah, so we could make another app. So like you do a crowdfund, which is fun. Also, let me show you what that looks like. Actually, yeah, we'll save that for another day. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the first time I've done one of these, but this has been a lot of fun. I want to thank everyone for swinging by, and I hope you got something out of it. If anyone has any ideas or thoughts or feedback, please let us know. We're always available on Discord and stuff too. Cool. All right, I'm gonna give maybe a 1 more minute, and if anyone's got any further questions, because we do have a little bit of time left, and then we'll shut it down if everyone's cool. Again, thank you guys so much for coming. It was a lot of fun. Let's see, how do I turn off my share? There it is. Okay. Yeah, I encourage everyone to just try it out. Like what I just did in this 55 minutes, you could do as well, without adding any funds, because we do have that $10 free credit off the get-go. So feel free to experiment. Feel free to ask us questions. We do have testnet nodes also, if you would rather just use testnet to play around, instead of real Bitcoin. It's a little bit harder to send and receive payments on testnet though, because the testnet Lightning Network is really small and inefficient. But yeah. All right. Let's see here. What do you think will be the killer app that gets masses to adopt Bitcoin Lightning Network? Wow, Ken. Yeah, that's a really good question. I think what's going to be really interesting is that we need, dare I say, we basically need, I think, what Voltage has, which is we have the non-custodial infrastructure, which is a trade-off in a way, but it's still there. We don't hold any funds or anything. So I think the fact that we can be global, non-custodial, and get that commerce going, I think that folks around the world that want to sell things globally in an easy way will help out with that. But we're just trying to get that use case spread to those that could use it, whether it be a local farmers market or someone making handcrafted art that wants to sell it to somebody across the world. So as far as like killer app, I think we've got the infrastructure. As far as something really specific that we're waiting for, I'm not entirely sure. I think it just comes down to getting the word out, because this is so clearly a better way to do commerce, with instant settlement, global micropayments, easy to build apps and stuff. There's never been anything like it before. So I think we've got the infrastructure. We just need to be spreading the word mostly. All right, and Sharon is typing. I will wait until she finishes, and then we'll wrap up here. Ooh, all right. We got an interesting question for the end here. How do you see the additional functionality necessary for ramping into import-export commerce with the additional documentation escrows? I think it is definitely possible. It's just we need developers to build the automation and stuff. I think that already the oil and gas industry is really interested in this sort of thing. With I'm not an expert, but being able to do market trading on these commodities in a quicker settlement, in a higher rate. For example, instead of having to settle once a day or once a week, you can settle once an hour, and that would be really, really interesting for a lot of industries. And I've personally talked to people that are already in on this and are building in on it. So I'm not sure if that answers that question specifically, but I do know that these sort of concepts are definitely being explored. And all right, that will conclude it. Thanks, everyone. We will be emailing out our topic and our date for the next one. I think we'll keep doing this, and we will have it on YouTube soon, so you can share it with your friends and family if you want to. And yeah, so have a great week, everyone, and take care.